Tha ymbellaw redon hilde deure addlinga bern la twelve. Waldon karek wyddan, ond kynning manan. Wordied wrekan, ond wer sprekan, echtedon earlshipe, ond his ellen werk, ducheth dem don. Swahit je deve vis, that mon his winnedrichten wordum herje. Ferchum frauje, dan heforthschelle, of lichhaman ladet werdan. Swabeg nornedon jeta leude, hlaver des rire. Herthjenetas, quadam tateware, world kuninga, manna mildost, und mon thwarost, leudum lithost, und lofjernost. Then 12 champions, children of princes, rode round the mound. They all wanted to utter their sorrow and celebrate the king, make a song for him, and speak of the man. They gave esteem to his nobility, spoke to the veterans of his deeds of valour, as it is proper to praise with words a friend and lord, and foster him in inmost heart, when he must go forth, part from his body. So the Geat people, his close companions, mourned their lord's fall. They said that he was of all kings in the world the gentlest of men and the kindest, most loving to his people, and the most generous.
So, any new thoughts on that passage coming back to it this time around? Of course, it's one of the purplest passages in the poem.
Yes,
Um,
it is really.
One word in the passage that strikes me this time around, especially given your book on the mead hall, is that word hearth yeneatas, the hearth retainers, who are the ones here who are lamenting the death of Beowulf. Um, I think that's an interesting word since it recalls, of course, the kind of spatial arrangement of the hall and the way that these are the people who had closest access to the king and would have been in this intimate environment with him. And now they are, of course, the ones who are mourning him.
Indeed. The expression there, herthioneatas, is absolutely central to the bonds of reciprocity and yeah, companionship, comradeship that typifies not just military service at this time, but relationships between uh, important people and those who support them, those upon whom they rely for their continued existence. Um, the Herthionatas, the men who gather around the hearth with their leader. And the point is well made, of course, that when you study the archaeology of these times, we're talking about the 5th, 6th, 7th century, um, the the gold work, the garnet jewelry, the cloisonnés, the cabochon garnets, the millefiori detailing, all this stuff is produced at an incredibly small scale. It's not huge stuff making a huge a statement in a sort of crass and vulgar way that you get in some cultures, shall we say, looking at you, the Romans. But actually, it's uh, all this material is produced to such a small scale. Whoever could have appreciated it? Even the details of, for example, the Sutton Hoo helmet, the detailed interlace panels, and so on. Most people would only have seen that on the wearer of that helmet riding by at a distance. Very few people would have got close enough to the king or warlord, whoever was wearing it, to appreciate the details of the design. And to be honest, if you were close enough to see these details, you were either very much on good terms with him and were part of his entourage, his hertianetas, or you were in big trouble because you know he was dangerously close to you and wearing all his war gear. So the point is that there's no there's not much display value in all this fine detail. But they did it anyway. They seem to have um, been intent on making these visual puzzles and creating a whole kind of world that is barely discernible, almost like the elves, isn't it? The elves that are there on the edge of sight, and you can sort of see them, but when you look directly at them, they're not there. It's that kind of feeling of access to other world powers that are enshrined in this wonderful artistic production, all this jewelry and other metalwork.